Hi YouTube, and welcome back to my random thoughts on Thursday, and this time around it's basically going to be a random update of a bunch of random stuff going on in my rather random life. Alright, so the last time I posted a vlog, I was doing NaNoWriMo, National Novel Writing Month, where I was trying to write a novel in the month of November. And guess what? Drum roll please. I did it! So here's my certificate, so there you go. So yes, I wrote a novel. I mean, it's complete rough draft. It was just a complete brain dump for the month of November. But beginning, middle, end, protagonists, antagonists, all of the major plot points are there in the story now, which is kind of exciting. So I'm rather pleased with that part of what happened last year, and that, obviously that's one of the reasons I wasn't vlogging, is because I was so busy with trying to get that written. And then afterwards I've just kind of put it aside for the most part, and I've just been refocusing on the fanfiction stories I like to write, just to kind of like let it sit for a while, so that when I go back to it and actually do the first round of actual edits and rewrites and things, that it'll be a little bit fresh and new for me to kind of go back into it. I know I've got some pacing issues I've got to fix. Obviously there's going to be typos I got to fix. I didn't do any editing of it at all whatsoever yet. The only thing I've been working on is sort of like a short description of the story, because I've decided I'm not going to try and self-publish it right away. Instead, I'm actually going to try and go the traditional publishing route. I've actually talked to a number of people, and I even reached out to a couple of actual published authors and asked them what their advice was, and they were like, go for it, go for the publish route first, see if you can, you know, if you get any interest in whatsoever. The best advice so far though is that I should get a literary agent. I shouldn't just be submitting to publishers directly. So that's cool. I didn't even know that there were such a thing as literary agents, so okay. So I need to shop around for a literary agent, but I need the story to be in a better place than it is now. It, again, complete raw brain dump, and it really doesn't have, it's not as polished as it should be at this point. So I need to get it polished first before I can go out and submit it. And my goal right now is to kind of wrap up all of my fanfiction stories I've got going right now, so that I can then refocus my efforts on the novel and doing the rewrites, doing the edits and everything, and then start shopping it around for a literary agent. So we'll see how that goes. And just in case you're interested, I mean, I'm still polishing even the description of the story, but here's the latest version of the short description. And leave me a comment down below if you think it sounds at all intriguing enough to, hey, I would read this. I would really appreciate commentary on that. And again, rough draft even on, this is like maybe the third version of the short description of the book, and it's probably going to evolve further, and I may or may not, you know, continue updating on the vlog, the continued versions of it, or maybe I'll get the final version once I've started submitting to agents and stuff. But here is the current version of the description of my story. The story, it's called Artifact of the Dawn is the title. So here it is. The elves are an ancient race. Their history is mired in mystery and half-truths. They are intractable and embroiled in ancient traditions. Centuries ago, when they finally encountered humans, a war between them became inevitable. Centuries later, elves and humans have forged a tenuous truce after a long and bloody war. Now the two races try to avoid each other whenever possible. Neither side wishes for renewed hostilities. A freak rainstorm drives an elf and a human into the Forbidden Zone, an area deep in the forest that no one has entered since before the time of the war. What they discover there will unravel everything they had ever known. Together, they will try and make sense of what they discovered and forge a better future. So, there you go. There's the description of the story. Trying to make it intriguing and pull people in to want to read it, while not giving away any spoilers or any major plot points and things. So, anyway, I don't know if if that at all sounds intriguing. If it does or if it doesn't, either way, I would love to have some commentary on that. So if you found it interesting or not, you know, either way, comments, please. I love comments. Anyhow, so there's that. Yes, I am, if you can tell by I have a very interesting hoodie on today. This is actually a Dragon Age inspired hoodie. Actually inspired by a character in Dragon Age Inquisition called Dorian, which I'll put a back up here, so there'll be a image of Dorian right there. So it was inspired by that mage. He's an Altus mage, and he's the first purely gay character in the game. In the previous games, you could romance males or females with males or females. With the first game, 2 characters were bisexual, 2 characters were straight that you could romance. In the second game, everyone was bisexual, and there was 2 girls and 2 boys as well. And in Inquisition, you end up with an array of different people you could romance. I think there's like 9 different potential romances. I forget exactly, but there's a whole bunch of romances. And the romances vary depending. Some of them will only romance elves and humans, and only females, and some will only romance males, but any species, and so there's a whole bunch of caveats there. So it gets the whole romance thing in Inquisition gets a lot more complicated. But it was heralded by the fact that you have 2 characters, one is Dorian, one is Sarah, who are purely gay. They will not romance someone of the opposite gender, unless you get a mod. And there's a lot of people out there that actually take offense to those mods, and I can kind of understand why. I mean, gay people have been marginalized for so long. To actually have a purely gay character and then to try to change their sexuality. In fact, with Dorian, it's the biggest thing, is because the canon within the story is that his father did try to change him, did try to use magic to make him straight. And so using a mod to make him straight kind of makes the player as bad as his dad. So I can kind of see where the outrage is for people using the straight Dorian mod. But that's neither here nor there. That's just a little aside. But anyway, so that's where this hoodie comes from, and I'm wearing it because I felt like it. So, and plus, it's really comfortable, and it's really super high quality. I love the fact that it's really high quality, and it's not just some flimsy material or anything. I mean, this is like substantial sweatshirt material, and then it's got the detailing with the collar, and it's got the side part for the hoodie and everything, and it's got the little hand warmer parts, and it's faux leather, but it feels really high quality, and you can still wash it, which is nice. So what's the best thing about faux leather is that you can actually get it wet and it won't ruin it. But I don't know, it's fun. It's just a lot of fun, and it's comfortable, and I don't know, I'm a silly fangirl when it comes to this thing. And it's been a year. I have been obsessed with Dragon Age for about a year now. I started playing seriously Dragon Age Origins just right around mid-January of last year, so it's been a year, and the obsession has not left me yet. I mean, I'm still unsubscribed to World of Warcraft because I was playing that for 10 years, and I stopped playing because of Dragon Age, and I'm like, okay, well, why am I paying for the subscription? So I ended it, and I know there's a new expansion coming out and everything else, and part of me wants to play it again, but I'm still too mired in my Dragon Age obsession right now that I wouldn't play it enough. I mean, I don't even play that much right now because I've been writing. That's my other obsession right now, is writing. And so Dragon Age and writing are kind of like hand in hand. It's what got me into the writing bug in the first place, was Dragon Age. And it's, I'm still really loving writing. I have actually written 3 stories now in the Merlin fandom as well. It's a TV series that was on several years ago, and my husband and I kind of binge watched it a couple months ago, and I loved it. And it's also kind of sparked my imagination in a few areas for writing and things, so I've kind of been inspired to write a few of those. But I've written over 25 Dragon Age based stories, and at this point this is fan fiction only. I've written over 370,000 words in fan fiction stories. That's like several novels. Either that or one big War and Peace. But regardless, it's a lot of words. And I don't know, I'm having a lot of fun with it. And besides that, I still have my business. I'm still running my consulting business. I'm still doing web analytics. In fact, my one subcontractor just helped us win a really big contract with a client, and I won another contract with a fairly large company, a very large tech company, and so our Q1 right now is looking really good. Usually the last several years, last 2-3 years, my first quarter has been kind of quiet. Like everyone kind of shuts down their marketing budgets after the holidays, and I tend not to have a lot of work because analytics tends to go hand in hand with marketing efforts and that kind of thing. So I usually don't have a lot of work in the first quarter. So having the fact that for my business, I actually might end up with this quarter earning almost as much as I did about half. Yeah, about half of how much I earned for the entire year last year. So that's a good thing. Because last year was a little bit on the lean side. And I really would like to have a better year this year. It would be really nice. My husband, he decided to leave his engineering job. He went back to school. He got his master's degree, his MSBA, so Master of Science in Business Administration, in it's a field called Financial Risk Management. And he has actually since gone back and he's been teaching as an adjunct professor, which he's enjoying a lot, but it doesn't pay much. So it's kind of on me to kind of bring in a better income. And so I've been kind of pushing on trying to do that. So I've got my business, I've got my writing. Really haven't had that much time to play video games. At least I finished Dragon Age Inquisition. So I finished all 3 games. I have several different playthroughs, but I've only done one single playthrough from beginning to end of each game so far. So at least I know the solid storyline of what happens and all the major plot points and things. So as I'm writing, I know what I need to be including in my stories and things. And, for bits and pieces, because there's different paths you can take in the game. So if I need to know what a different path is instead of going in and playing it myself, well, there's so many YouTube videos out there right now in terms of that. If I have been playing anything at all, I actually have, because I also still love playing The Sims, and I've got The Sims 4, and someone created mods for The Sims 4 so you could create recreate some of your favorite characters from Dragon Age in Sims. So that's what I've also been doing, is playing that. In fact, I actually have my 3 OTPs, my one true pairings, in The Sims. And for anyone who actually knows Dragon Age, my OTP for Dragon Age Origins is Alistair and Zevran. And leave me a comment down below, I'll explain why if you're curious. For Dragon Age 2, it's Fenris and Anders. And for Dragon Age Inquisition, it's Dorian with Commander Cullen. Those are my 3 for each game. I have like a pairing that I like. Now these are not canon pairings. You can't pair these people together in the game. These are my fan fiction pairings. And so that's one of the nice things with The Sims is that you can recreate the characters in The Sims. Now, of course, it's The Sims. It's not Dragon Age, so you're not going to have... I'm sure you can build castles and things, but the rest of the neighborhood's still going to be like the normal neighborhood with normal houses and shops and that kind of thing. So, it's not like... I don't know if they could do a Sims medieval mod on top of The Sims 4, so you could kind of have a more medieval setting would be kind of cool. But regardless, so I've got basically all my Dragon Age OTPs in a modern setting, because, why not? And I'm primarily playing the Dragon Age 2 ones, the Fenders and Anders as a married couple, and I've got Dorian and Colin as one of their neighbors as a couple, and I have Zevran and Alistair as a couple, also as neighbors. So they're all living in the same town and everything, and they're interacting with each other. But I'm only focusing on the one pair and just kind of having friendships with the other guys. But it's kind of fun to kind of, you know, walk around the town and see these Dragon Age people in a modern setting and stuff. And I've actually written a couple of stories that are kind of modern setting versions of the Dragon Age people. So it's kind of an interesting dynamic to explore their personalities in a different setting and things. So I'm rambling again, aren't I? So yes, but anyway, that's basically what's going on with me right now. In March, I'm going to be in Las Vegas. I'm going to Adobe Summit. Adobe Summit has, up until now, always been in Salt Lake City every year. So this is the first year it's going to be in Vegas. So that's going to be interesting. And me having a good quarter is actually going to be interesting because I can splurge a little bit and do a little bit more while I'm there, besides just taking advantage of all the free food that they give you. Adobe Summit is not a cheap summit, not a cheap conference to go to, but they take good care of their attendees. And last year I think we were getting close to set 10,000 attendees. So it's nowhere near the size of a CES, which is like 150,000 attendees, but 10,000 people from the market, you know, from marketing and things worldwide coming to a single event. That's pretty good. And we'll see how big it gets this year, because now we're in a larger venue and everything. I think we're going to be at the Venetian. So I've not stayed at the Venetian. I've stayed next door at the Wynn Encore before, quite a few times. So it'll be interesting to see how the Venetian is and stuff. But anyway, so I'm hoping to continue vlogging this year. I don't plan on shutting down my channel. I am sorry I'm not doing this weekly anymore. I want to, but just life. So, but I will continue making videos and things, and if things rile me up enough, I will obviously come back on here and rant as usual. But anyway, thank you so much for joining me this time, and leave me thumbs ups, comments, everything else. Love you, all of you that watch me regularly. All right, take care. Bye-bye.